So I wanted to do a video from St. Peter's Square because we can now. But I wanted to talk to you about how, especially in these days, we need to remember to be kind, to be patient, and to be forgiving. As things begin to reopen, our churches, our restaurants, our stores, our services, to be kind, to be patient, and to be forgiving. So if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen that on Monday, I got my first post-quarantine haircut, and it was not ideal. Well, the haircut was fine, but just the circumstances. The hair salon has to wrap people up in not the traditional gown, but disposable, so it's plastic. So I was basically wrapped up in this clear plastic bag, and I had to wear a mask. The hair guy had to wear a mask and a face shield. And during the haircut, my guy uses clippers a lot, so as he was cutting my hair, some of the hair fell into my mask, started tickling my nose, which made me very sneezy, but can't sneeze right now. So I had to hold that in, and then I tried to blow it off my nose inside the mask, and then I got a bunch of hair in my mouth, and so I had to kind of spit it out while wearing a mask. And then I was trying to get my arms up to reach into the mask and move the hair around, but the plastic bag was all fogged up and sweaty, and so I was stuck to it. And so it wasn't the best haircut experience in that sense. And then today, I went to one of my favorite cafes, which is near my home. And the cafes are only allowed, well, this one, because it's small, they can only let a couple people in at a time. And so in front of me, there were two women, and they were together. So they went in, they ordered their coffee, they got a pastry, and they were, chatting and enjoying their coffee and their breakfast while I was outside waiting to come in. So situations like that, it would be very easy to get frustrated and, be like, oh, how inconsiderate of them to sit there and have coffee while I'm out here waiting. But I know that, they weren't being rude. They were just having their coffee. So we have to kind of watch out for situations like that. And then, churches, now that our churches are starting to reopen, it doesn't look like it used to. Hopefully it will again, but in Rome, some of the churches, we need to make reservations now for Sunday Mass. So we have to go online and basically get a ticket so that we can go to Mass. One place I like to go, St. Mary Major, they have Mass in a side chapel. And a couple weeks ago, I took the girls. And, usually we would all sit together in one pew. But at St. Mary Major, they only allow one person per pew. And then it's even staggered. So one person sits on the left side of the pew, then on the next pew, somebody sits on the far right. So I had my 11-year-old daughter, and she couldn't sit with me. She had to sit by herself a couple pews away. So, those things are frustrating. But it's not the fault of the cafe or the hair salon or the church. In some cases, they're doing what they think people want them to do to feel safe. In some cases, they're doing what the government requires them to do. But I can tell you that they don't like it either. They're doing it because they want us to be able to come back. They need to get to work. This is the only way they can do it. And so we have to remember that, we are all in this together. So that's something I said in the very first video I made about going into the quarantine, was that we're all going through this together. We need to support each other and help each other if we're going to get through it together. And so we have to continue doing that now as things reopen. One of my favorite restaurants, a place that I go to usually 2 or 3 times a week, they're reopening next week. And what I love about this place is that it's packed all the time. There's often like a 1 hour wait outside. The tables are crammed close together. There's like an inch of space between each table. And, I like my personal space as much as everyone. But at the same time, I love that experience of going to this restaurant. That's why I'm always there. And when I go in, all the waiters come up. They do the hug. They do the handshakes. Well, as they reopen, things have to change. So now all the tables have to be 1 meter apart. So that kind of takes away from the experience of it being one big happy family. Now we're all spaced out. The staff, they all have to wear gloves and masks, which that's no fun. They can't use their napkins anymore. They have to use disposable napkins. Another minor inconvenience. The people eating now have the choice of using disposable utensils and plates. So just not the experience you want when you go to one of your favorite restaurants. I don't want to eat off a paper plate with a plastic fork. But that's an option that they give you, so I don't have to. But we're going to be experiencing a lot of this as things start to reopen. And it's just going to make it worse if we don't roll with it. If you get mad at your restaurant, or if you get mad at your church because you show up for Mass and they've already hit the number of people that they can allow in, they have to turn you away. You freaking out and getting angry, that's not going to hurt the virus or the government or whoever it is you're really mad at. It's going to hurt your community. Like if I started yelling at the people at my restaurant, they're having to do this. They don't have a choice for some of these things. They could either not open at all, or they could do what is currently required. So if I get mad, it's not going to hurt the government. It's going to hurt my friends. And the same with the church. If your church is only allowing, 50% or whatever it is, every diocese is different, and you don't follow the rules that you have to follow right now, and you get angry, then it's just going to hurt your priest. It's not going to hurt the diocese. It's not going to hurt the government. It's not going to hurt the virus. It's just going to hurt your community. So, there's a time and place to show your frustrations, but as we're just trying to get back into normal life, we have to realize that everybody's going through this. And these businesses that have been closed for months, they're trying to get back to their normal life the best they can. And sometimes that means we have to wear garbage bags and not shake hands and sit away from our kids. So it's an interesting time right now. We have to stick together, work together, get through this. That's what I wanted to talk about. That it's important to be kind, to be patient, and to be forgiving. And maybe I'll think this through a bit more and write about it, because I have been thinking about it a lot lately. Like when I had a garbage bag stuck to me and when I was waiting 15 minutes for a coffee. So yeah, that's it. So as always, I hope you're staying safe, staying healthy, staying faithful. I hope that you remember to be patient, be kind, and be forgiving. And I will talk to you soon.